welcome to Amanda's 5 to 9. I'm Amanda, and on this channel, I like to talk all about my activities from 5 to 9, like my knitting, cooking, baking, and we're always adding to that list as we try to work to live instead of live to work. So today, I thought it would be fun and informational to walk through what it is to block your finished knits. I just finished a little stack of these in the last couple weeks, and I have been waiting to kind of block them all together because it is kind of annoying to do, I think, just for one item. And so I have my other blocking supplies as well. But first, before we get started, I thought it would be helpful to kind of just talk about what it means to block your knits and why it's important. So essentially, when you finish a knitted object, some of the edges of your fabric might be a little bit curled on your cast-on edge. If you work cables, sometimes those are very scrunched up. And in general, your stitches can just be a little bit tight, depending on your tension. So what you do when you block is basically just submerge your knit in water for a little bit, and it helps relax the fibers. You've probably seen videos on Instagram or TikTok of people having these really dramatic blocks where you see that they're growing like 3 to 4 inches on a sweater or something like that. It doesn't always have to look like that. But I think in general, the blocking of a garment just kind of helps with the drape and makes it nicer to wear. So to block today, I have these 2 mittens, fingerless mittens, because I couldn't bother to do the small circumference for gloves. So we'll be blocking these, as well as a matching Sophie hood for my mittens, and then a second Sophie hood as well that I'm going to be gifting soon. So I always want to make sure I block it. To block, you do not need to use any kind of soap. But typically when I block a garment, it's the first time that I've washed the yarn. And especially if you get your yarn from somewhere that mails to you, like who knows what kind of like dirt and dust it kind of picks up. I would say additionally, when I'm knitting from stash, which is happening thankfully more and more, some of these yarns have been in my stash for a number of years. So they've been sitting there collecting dust, and I just generally think it's a good idea to wash something first before you gift it. Because if there are any issues in terms of like it shrinking in the dryer or something like that, like I always test a superwash swatch that way too, then you find out, because I think it's just the worst if it's someone that you've gifted to that has to find that out for themselves. So yeah, let's get started. So I have basically, you just need something that you can submerge your knits in. So if you're doing a sweater, some people like to use their bathtub. I have just some little stuff today, so I'm going to use this bucket. So I'm going to throw them in the bucket. I'm going to add some of this wool wash. Again, since it's the first time that I've washed it, I've used this brand Soak. I think it's pretty popular, and you can find it at most craft stores. There are other versions that you would probably have to go to your local yarn store to get, but I think Soak is a really accessible one. I'm just going to put in a tiny amount. So I've had this bottle for I think 2 years. So I think it's about $20, but it does last you a long time. So there's that. So I'm going to add some water to my knits, and we're just going to submerge those for about 20 to 30 minutes. I would say 20 is probably the lower end of what you'd have to do if you're like in a rush to block it or something. But I usually just like to let it sit there for about half an hour, and then I come back and wring out the water and kind of set it out to dry. And we'll do that in a couple of minutes, in 20 to 30 minutes. So here we have our submerged knits. I'm just gonna, so now we are going to just squeeze out the water super gently. You want it to be, I mean, it'll be wet, obviously, but you want to try and dry it as much as possible. So I'm just kind of like squishing it to get the water out. And we'll do this for all of them. One important thing as we're squishing them out is to never wring your knits, because that can really mess up the shape. Another thing some people do is just to like roll it up in a towel and then stamp it out. I don't really think that that is necessary when you're doing smaller stuff, but I've certainly done it if I'm blocking like a sweater or something that's going to hold more water. If you're not super worried about your garment like catching on the washing machine, what I've done with sweaters also is put it on like the spin function in the washing machine, just to kind of whip all the water out, not the dryer. So here I have just laid out some towels and put the hoods here. Unfortunately, no area is totally soba free, but I'm gonna fold the towel on top so he doesn't just play with it all day. So here you can see that I've set down the hoods like so, and I have tried my best to kind of lay them on top of each other to make sure that all of the dimensions kind of match up, and the mittens are here as well. So I will try and leave them here in the sunniest area of my apartment for as long as it takes for them to dry. I'll try and like flip them once or twice, or change out the towels if it gets too wet here. But soon we will see fully blocked garments. Here we are a full day later, and everything has dried and come off the blocking mats. So I have this first Sophie hood. So before blocking, if you recall, things were not quite matched up at the ends here, but post blocking, I was able to fix that, and that's all ready to gift. We have my mittens here, which are very nicely blocked out. If you remember, it did grow a tiny bit, so I think this is a little bit longer than it was before, but I think it works out well. And then finally, we have my Sophie hood to make the matching set. And this is all nice and drapey now too. So that was after a full day of drying. Typically for smaller garments, I find that that's enough. But if you're working on something bigger like a sweater, sometimes that'll take the better part of a week if you're just letting it air dry. I find it does go a little bit faster if you're able to do it outside, like if you have a deck or something. But depending on the weather, obviously, sometimes that can introduce more debris and things like that onto your garment. So, you can kind of decide what you would rather deal with. I hope this was informative. I think as I finish projects of different fiber contents, I will do videos like this to kind of show the process. And hopefully it is helpful. So that's all we have today. If you would like more timely updates, you can follow me on Instagram at Amanda's5to9. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.